Hi, you guys. My name's Nia. I have a question. You mentioned I think 2 questions previously. She asked about, or you recommended moving her conservative business to a conservative area. Would you recommend that for more liberal businesses to be doing that well? And would you also recommend that for not necessarily businesses, but just people in general to be moving out of the communities they disagree with and into their surrounding by people who they agree with, and vice versa?
Oh, I don't think the business itself is conservative or liberal when I say that. So I don't think that you can have if you make clothes and they're good, you make clothes and they're good. But the free market will determine that, right? So what I mean is that if you are an entrepreneur, you have to start thinking about the policies that are in place where you live. And yes, I'm a big believer that you have to think about the values of where you live as well. So and for every regard, whether it's business, whether it's family, I mean, this has become such a huge discussion when you have kids, right? Well, what kind of public school system, where are you living, what kind of public school system are you going to send them to? A school that believes that their child can pick their gender and their pronouns, or are you going to send them to a Christian school? It becomes common sense that you want to live in an area that reflects your values and that rewards the behavior that you see as acceptable. So I think that that's sort of a natural thing that people should strive toward, and I am being serious when I say that you now have areas that are I can't imagine opening a business in Los Angeles. I don't understand people that still live there. You are just being penalized for being successful when you look at the tax rates. And it's interesting that the young lady that came before you just said, I was a liberal until I got into the real world. That's exactly what I'm talking about, because when you get into the real world, you start to realize the way that you're taxed in certain areas. It's punitive to successful people. So yes, I would recommend it, whether it was what your leanings are doesn't matter, right? If you want to work for the sake of all of your tax dollars going to support, criminals on the street, whatever reforms they say that they're doing, then yeah, you could stay where you want to, but you're not going to earn any money, and eventually you're going to wake up and you're going to say, actually, I'm a little more fiscally conservative, as people like to say, and people tend to just migrate towards places that are advantageous to those perspectives.
And I'll answer the second part of your question. I'm torn on it. I grew up in Illinois. It's my home. But I left. But Illinois really left me, if I'm honest. And I do believe that people should start to live around people that share your values. I don't think it's healthy when you have to be ruled under Lori Lightfoot or J.B. Pritzker when there's other options in the same country. I don't. And look, Wisconsin is a completely different. I think Wisconsin is a much more conservative state than it's currently being reflected politically, and it showed that in a lot of different ways. So Wisconsin's different. I love Wisconsin. It's one of my favorite places in the world. I mean that. And great people. But look, I left. I went to Arizona. Candace went to Tennessee. I want to start a family. I got married. I want to live around people that can tell me what a woman is. I want to live around people that believe that their life begins at some form of point and doesn't believe in post-birth abortion. I don't want to be worried that my guns are going to be confiscated, or that the kids in our community are going to be taught about lesbian sex when they're 4 years old. That's not a state I want to live in. And for me, that was a breaking point, not to mention the financial pressure of living in Illinois. So,
and by the way, that idea of putting yourself in a social environment that matches your own, that's a part of humanity. That's not even humanity. That's animal instinct. Find your tribe is what we're saying, right? And people do that whether you're first day of kindergarten, you're making your friends, you're finding people that you have things in common with. Then when it becomes, you become an adult and you're out in the world, it's the exact same thing. It's totally natural.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.